Hello, hello. We are back with Lavender Shadows. And we're gonna have an important people meeting. So I think we just cut straight to it, right? Because Xanatos already showed up, and you're probably in whatever, it's like a study or something. Yeah, you're in Joe's study. What is everybody doing? Like, give me the scene of each of you and where you're sitting or standing. Like, what does the vibe of everything look like? As I think Xanatos is just leaning against the door frame, basically.
First of all, have I been informed that I am in any way a part of this?
I'd assume Marguerite would. Yeah.
I would have just walked up to you and been like, "You have been deemed an important person. You must attend this meeting."
And I look at Joe for like translation.
I'm like, important person?
Yeah.
Oh, and I go, "And you too."
And I sign, "and you too," to Vivienne, thinking you're still talking to her. Because I'm just translating. It's just a joke. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be funny.
No one laughed.
I know. Nobody laughed at my interpreting joke. Fine.
Sorry.
No, that's a dumb joke.
I'm sorry, we didn't interpret the joke correctly.
Dang it, Caleb! I was thinking that too! Why'd you have to say it in a way that made sense?
Because that's what I do, Seth.
I was gonna say we didn't interpret it right, but it didn't sound right. Whatever.
Yeah, but Marguerite, I guess you're right. You probably just tell both of them, like, "Hey, I want you at this meeting. Apparently, we're all important people."
Yes,
Right.
and I kind of go, "It will be happening in some sort of..."
So much has happened today.
And I kind of just go, "It will happen in an appropriate setting in this estate. Please take us to one."
So this commoner's just ordering you around in the place where you live?
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know you, so I think you might have to make a persuasion against Joe to convince her to take you inside.
I don't know if there needs to be like a persuasion, but there's obviously going to be some sort of conversation here. I assume Marco would be able to step in and kind of explain things.
Didn't I say like, hey, this is the person I was talking about? Because I told her the meeting was going to happen.
Yeah.
This is the person I was talking. I forgot what the conversation was.
I told you that we were planning the meeting. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe Marguerite knew some sort of weird sign, and you went to Marco went to you to find out what it was, and then you're all meeting now.
That's right. And I'm like, okay, this is the girl that knows the weird sign.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. All right, let's go.
Okay. So, Terrace attacking Carly.
I took both of her squeaky toys away from her, and she's mad.
So, all of you are in Joe's study. Xanatos is leaning against the door frame. Please describe to me how the rest of you are situated.
Vivienne is sitting next to Matthias and holding his hand.
And I'm
I don't think Matthias was invited to this special
important person.
What? No. Okay.
I mean, Matthias probably had to go back to his estate to do something anyway, so.
Plan the wedding! I'm sitting across from Vivienne so that way we can see each other.
Yeah.
Well, but sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of looking at Marco and Marguerite.
I am standing up somewhere in a place of importance. And
I think Joe eyes Isabeau seriously.
I had led Isabeau to if it's in a library, if there's an aisle of the library, to be race your frogs over here, honey.
It's just my study.
It's just her study.
Big.
She's not probably out in the hallway.
I was going to say then in the hallway.
I'm probably just sitting down. Everyone's else standing up. My leg hurts. No.
Yeah.
I don't care if everyone else is. If other people are standing.
So, Xanatos looks at the rest of you, and just a reminder, this guy is, tall, handsome, he has a beard, He is wearing, fancy clothing, but it looks like a couple of cycles out of date, and he has a red cape. I did decide who's actually playing this guy as an actor, though. He's played by Ewan McGregor.
Yes!
So yeah, that's my favorite actor ever. So
I love him.
You okay?
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Wow. So now Xanatos is like a heartthrob to me. Wow.
So he looks at the rest at all of you and then says, "So I have to give it to Marguerite, putting this thing together. She was rather persistent, and I am actually very impressed that she managed to put all of you together like this."
And you are?
Right. And he's like, sorry. Yes. Introductions. My name is Xanatos. Some call me Xanatos the Hellbreaker. I have other titles, but that's unimportant. I am
and you seem to know who we are already.
Yes. Oh, yes. I definitely know who you are. I know many of you more than you know yourselves, at least in some ways. I came here from somewhere else. Let's just say somewhere else. And I've been tracking someone down. Someone who stole something from me. Sorry I haven't been very forthcoming with this information, Marguerite, but I have my own agenda. I have my own business to attend to, but I reward persistence. And so your persistence means I am actually giving you information instead of being cryptic. You're welcome.
He's going to turn us into the Power Rangers.
So he says, Marguerite, you happen to see... no, sorry, he doesn't say that. He says, I came to Marguerite because I was curious. I was curious how she fit into the events that were unfolding. The events are still unfolding, and I am still curious how it will all turn out in the end. But I think I have a better idea now than I did then, what Marguerite's role is in all of this. She's the instigator. She's the one who does what needs to be done when no one else is even paying attention to the fact that that something needs to be done at all. I think there's more to her than meets the eye, even besides that, but...
In my mind, I'm like, take that, Benedicta.
Yeah, exactly. As I said, I'm here to take something back that was stolen from me and my friends. Someone you met recently may have it. Does the name Desiree Gilson mean anything to any of you?
Does it?
We need to make a roll.
Oh, what was the bald man? Yes, that's the bald man.
Yeah, so you told me the name, right, Desiree? I think, Marco, you told me
I think
name.
you guys figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the man that tried to kidnap/kill me?
Yeah, he nods and he says, yes, that guy.
Wait, did I say the name? I just have in my notes mentioned the bald guy. Joe makes a connection. We realize it's the same person.
Both discovered they know about
came.
Desiree.
The name must have probably came up. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think it did. So, he says, I am sorry about that. You got caught in the middle of something here. Not exactly my fault, but I feel like I should apologize anyway. And
what exactly have I gotten in the middle of?
And he just smiles slightly, and I think Xanatos says I think Xanatos does the gesture that everybody's been asking about, sort of thing, right? And then he says, "Does this mean anything to you?"
No, unfortunately.
So now the question is, Vivienne, we talked about this. Does Vivienne instinctually repeat the sign when she sees it?
I mean, yeah, because she's curious,
exactly.
And that's what I would do if I saw something. I'd be like, oh, how do I do that?
So, I want to make a roll here.
Is she facing the direction to see it though?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She's
in this conversation.
No, I thought you said you're like opposite of her. Oh no.
Xanatos is at the door frame, so he's like facing everyone basically.
Okay.
So let me find where this is.
The room gonna explode.
Very much.
We all
very much
gonna die.
Vivian started the fire.
Where is... Looking for a particular section here.
Death will be under D.
Thanks, Seth. Appreciate that.
I aim to do what I can to kill it.
Here we go. Where is the roll for this? I'm trying to find... I think it's just... I'm having you roll like a beginner's luck on untrained sorcery. Yeah. I don't think there's anything more advanced than that. So, sorcery is based on perception. So because you have this disability, you have access to the magic where others did not. And I think you could possibly accidentally cast this spell. So you are... Let me just double check what... So the original thing was... Oh, there it is.
Now, you told me, I can't remember, but I feel like you told me what the literal meaning of it was. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember either. It would have been something like... No. I told you the literal meaning of some other thing. You rolled to try to figure out what this...
Right.
What this one was, but I don't think you figured out anything.
No, you gave me like 2 words.
Okay.
I feel like I can't remember.
It would have been something like... Man, I can't remember.
Okay, I'll just have to listen back, I guess. But yeah,
I mean, we're probably gonna figure out pretty soon what it is. It would have been something like, very like a lot, very much, and then something along the lines of like change. Something that would be a vague translation of it. This is gonna be an ob 3. Wait. Maybe not. Let's see. Who are you looking at when you do this gesture?
Probably Thanatos if she's watching him sign it, right? Because that's the only way that she would know to copy it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So which I would like to also say, I also instinctually repeat it after Thanatos does it.
Yeah. Whatever we did last time. You were doing like some sort of swishing motion.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what it was.
I don't either. It's an ob 4.
So what kind of a roll am I making?
You are adding to your being learned.
Okay.
Sorcery.
That means it's gonna go wrong.
It's based on perception.
Probably.
And the base op is 4.
Yeah, nice.
All right, make it difficult or mark that difficult on your perception. So you fail.
What a sentence.
You say that so excitedly, Caleb.
I know. All right. Roll a d6 for me, Vivian. Okay. Make a fort test at ob4. Basically, you try. What happens is you try to basically cast a spell, and instead the energy, it takes way too. You basically just like try to, without knowing what you're doing, you try to draw on this magical energy that's somehow there. Suddenly, your mind is open, Vivian, to this like stuff that's beyond your normal perception, and you just basically it's like a frightened gasp, and in that gasp you breathe in so much energy that it overwhelms you because you didn't know what you were doing, and you're taking way too much energy, and now it might it's gonna exhaust you or tax you or incapacitate you.
It's like in My Hero Academia where he uses too much of the power and breaks his fingers.
Yeah. So make an ob4 fort test.
Oh,
it's a stat.
FORTE. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I thought you were saying ob4 fort test. I'm like, fortin with what? Yikes.
Okay, mark that difficult fort test. Do you want to spend... You got 2 6s. You can spend 1 or 2 of your fate.
I should probably only spend 1 because I only have 2.
Okay. You can roll 2d6.
She made the test. That'd have been a pretty cool fort.
Ooh,
wow.
No.
Very not success.
All right, your fort is temporarily reduced by 2.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Here you go. Current tax. You can put it in there. So suddenly you just feel incredibly drained and shaky. And so Xanatos kind of like widens his eyes and looks at you. And then he says, "What did you just do?"
No, and then, so do I notice?
Oh, yeah. Vivian obviously notices something. You notice
I just go down and kneel down on my knees and just go what's wrong? Can I see if I can comprehend what just happened if she used magic?
I don't know if there's a role for that, but you can. This conversation, I'm sure, will lead to that.
I mean, she just very shakily is like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah. So Xanatos signs to you, Vivian. I'm sorry. I should have warned you about this. I should have realized.
Whoa, he's fluent.
Of course he is.
I know. I'm
At this point, I think.
I think she asked about what? What did I just?
I just go what happened? Yeah.
Marco, what were you doing?
I was gonna say, Marco, at this point might just say okay, what's going on?
Yeah. So, Xanatos looks at you, Joe, and then says, "Do you want to explain?" And in that look, you know that he knows. And then you realize what Vivian just tried to do, and it all comes crashing down on you.
And in my I look down, and I whisper it works.
Yep.
And she signs, "You're a wizard, Harry."
A what?
I just say I just tell Vivian, don't use that sign ever again. Not until I can figure this out.
Yeah, she gives Joe a very confused look, but just like shakily nods.
Yeah, I mean, so Xanatos is like looking at you, Joe, like the rest of the class is waiting, sort of a look.
And I'm just like, I'm not telling them.
Why not? He's still signing. Why not?
Can we speak English, please?
Or whatever. Yeah,
I just like look at Marco and just go.
And
no,
then
we just discovered this. I'm not.
And then Xanatos says, and people accuse, he's still signing, and people accuse me of being cryptic. And then
they don't. Why do they need to know?
Because Vivienne just tried to.
She's had a long day.
Yeah. She's a danger to herself and others.
So they need to know? It's referring
they're
to
all
the
caught,
other two.
Yeah, they're all caught up in this, Joe. And he says this out loud at this point.
Are my looks magic because I'm drop dead gorgeous?
No. Yeah, it's like everyone gets to have their own special thing, and the way to like unlock the magic in Marco's is that he is just really good looking. So.
His magical smile.
Yeah.
I would like to persuade him that we should not tell them somehow, because I know I'm going to fail it anyways, and I just want to get more
okay
points towards being persuasive.
In that case, can I just sew something real quick?
But Joe really doesn't want to tell them. So,
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. It's just that.
You don't need another challenging test, and that's what this would be. So it's not going to make
it. Or persuasion?
Yeah. His will is 7.
Dang.
But I'm just learning.
Yes, but you only get a bubble if it's a routine test undoubled. Otherwise, so it basically would be as if it's 4 dice against 7, that's a challenging test. So you're going to mark it on will and not a bubble on your persuasion there. So no matter what, it wouldn't help you, and you'd fail no matter what. So it doesn't make any sense to roll it.
All right.
Yeah. So Xanatos just looks at you two, Marguerite and Marco, and says, "What do you know about the fantastical?"
Marguerite would probably be like, "Was that the play that came through a year or two ago? The fantastical?"
Yeah, he smiles. He says, "Yes, actually, but I wasn't referring to that."
I just that's the only one I know about.
Magic used to exist in this world. In some places, it still does. Your friend Josephine here is right about to stumble onto the secret of it. And he just kind of looks at you slyly.
How dare you?
He just smiles. Joe, you have to understand, I have my own agenda. I have my own desires. And your investigation, while interesting to me, is only interesting to me as it is useful to me. And so, Joe, I want to tell you something, and your response will help me figure something out. Do you, Desiree Gilson, the man I'm looking for, he tried to kidnap you, yes? Do you happen to know why?
No, maybe I'm starting to think maybe you can tell me.
He knows what I know. That you are about to stumble on the biggest secret this kingdom is keeping. He also has access to some form of this power, but it is failing him. It isn't complete. It's artificial. He stole something from me, a prototype. and you guys don't understand what that word means. It's like it makes sense in the language that you guys are speaking. It is a word, like it seems to follow the normal structures of the language, but it doesn't mean anything to you. And so he just says, a first attempt at something. I am a connoisseur of sorts of magic, and your particular brand of it is interesting. And I went ahead and tried to replicate it, like I do. Didn't work very well, but someone took it. This man was Desiree Gilson. He reaches and tugs on his like red cape, and he says, "You may notice that Desiree wears something like this. It's black, though, blackish gray. It was my first attempt at a way to harness the magic of this place."
Like he's talking about his cloak?
Yeah. But it is limited. Artificial. As I said before. And so Desiree is looking for the real thing.
So you've created magic, whereas what I'm trying to do is raw magic.
I attempted to create something that could harness the magic. Artificially, but effectively. And instead, I did it artificially and in a limited capacity. I'm still working out the details of the art. But Desiree wants you to learn how to perfect it. He is a small man who has stumbled upon something much bigger than he realizes, but he is dangerous. And you four are destined to stop him.
If I would imagine there'd be like a pause, and then Marco just goes, "How exactly?"
Yeah, maybe Anne just like points at herself and looks confused.
Smiles. Desiree Gilson. Yes, go ahead.
What do we get out of that?
He just laughs. And he says, I said, you're destined to do it. I'm not forcing you into anything. It's just going to happen. Marco wants to already.
Desiree killed him, didn't he?
Killed who?
My friend.
Yes. He killed him with this. And he makes the gesture again. And you realize at this point that he's almost making the gesture. Like he's making it, but then stopping it at a certain point and not actually finishing it out.
Oh, it was...
Yeah.
It came to me suddenly.
Yeah. And so he says it made him susceptible. Far more susceptible to a simple poison than he should have been. And he dropped dead.
This is the magic's like thing that that's this one day he was talking about earlier.
Yep.
So he poisoned him and then made it so that way his immune system basically crashed.
Yes.
Essentially. His body failed him.
Indeed. This power can be used to change people, to reach into their souls and change something drastic. It's dangerous, as I said. But I think the four of you... Well, you're in the center of it. Marco, Desiree Gilson works for a group called the Second Sons. They have been secretly trying to take down this kingdom from within. And your murder investigation has stumbled upon the very heart of it.
My uncle?
A member of the organization.
Wait,
high ranking?
His uncle is the owner of the theater. Like
I think
the
you do,
director?
yeah.
I do. Good blackmail information. I'm going to get myself into a show.
I was gonna say,
or get yourself killed.
Yeah. High in there.
That's up for debate, right now, actually.
Wait, his rank is up for debate?
Yeah. Mr. Bertrand Crozier has made some mistakes as of late and is desperate.
Wait, that's my uncle, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and so he basically just says, each of you have a piece of this puzzle to work out. Joe, your interest in this magic is essential to stopping Desiree Gilson.
I'm working on it.
Vivienne, obviously, is the one who can actually use it.
No, she won't be a part of this.
It's already been opened, Joe. I didn't mean for it to happen, but she did it. And
you saw what it did to her. She's not part of this.
I'm just.
You don't think the thought came to my mind to ask her to sign one of those things already? I chose not to involve her.
And I admire you for that. Truly, Joe. But you don't cage a bird, and all it wants to do is fly. And you can't cage Vivienne when she has stumbled upon something that is so integral to her now that it will never, ever go away. The best thing she can do now is learn to control it. And you're the only one who knows the signs well enough to help her do that. You read the accounts, Joe. What happens to those who don't use the magic after it's been unlocked? And you remember a story or two that you
remember,
read.
It keeps growing inside until basically it explodes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I just rub my forehead and I just go. Not as she gives it to me.
Gives it to you. Do you not know how this works, Joe? I thought you were so close.
I want to make up something like that, a story that I read of somebody who took their magic and put it onto themselves.
Yeah, you can make a roll to try to make that true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, history or mythwise or whatever, and then fork other things in.
As I'm hearing that, I'm like, wait, we can get magic?
I'll use mythwise and fork in history.
Okay. Yep.
I'm trying to think if I can.
Let's say op 4.
Can I also fork in read since I would have read this?
I'll give you an advantage die for having just spent a lot of time poring over accounts.
Okay. So 2 modifiers. You said an op 4?
Yep. Oh, no. That wasn't a good roll. You got a 6, though.
I can't even read. I can't even see it. Do I want to make something really cool true?
Here's the thing, though.
How much fate do I have?
Just because it's true doesn't mean Vivienne will want to do it.
I don't think Vivienne wants this. I don't know.
Well,
Not right.
I was gonna say. Wait. So is the only reason, the only task he's given us is we're destined to stop him?
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. Well, but she remembers the guy they're talking about, right? The guy that basically tried to kill Matthias and stuff, and kidnap Joe. So she just signs and asks him, "What do I have to do?"
Yeah.
Still shaky, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Joe, you're trying to rack your brain for but wasn't there a story about the... And then Vivienne signs this. And then Xanatos says, I think he says, there's a sign I can teach you, and that Joe can help you control. That should... break the artifact that he is using to do this. I haven't been able to give this to myself yet. That was the prototype. That was the first attempt. And so I have to count on you.
So Joe basically pieces together that because she's not going to say this out loud, but she pieces together that he tried to create something that would bypass the need for a disability. Okay.
So yeah, basically just in canon, Xanatos made an artificial, basically like a cloak that could artificially give him the magic and like bypass the disability, so that it would act as if he had a disability, basically give him a fake disability, but then like also have like some sort of like loop that would like counteract the disability and then would basically give you magic for free. But he didn't figure it out well enough.
Tricks the magic to make it think that
yes.
you have a disability somehow.
Yep.
But I will say, some would argue that having a cape is a disability.
I was gonna say like maybe it's like
maybe
it's a really ugly cape, so like the magic's like, oh, this guy's gotta be just messed up somehow.
Yeah.
It's plaid. Oh my gosh, he must be disfigured under there.
I just wanted to make sure that that's what was happening, because Joe can figure that out, but she's not going to say like that's what she doesn't want to tell anybody that that's what you need to get magic, is have a disability.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could figure that out probably pretty easily, but he's not saying that necessarily.
I've got a bum leg. Can I get magic?
No, I think we decided it had to be a permanent thing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we could vote on. I mean,
It feels like it's taken forever.
He has a permanent stat decrease, so if we wanted to vote on a trait.
Wait, permanent? I thought it was only 5 more weeks.
5 more weeks for so you have a -1 wound penalty to everything, and that goes away at 5 weeks. But then you remember you got that permanent stat decrease of your speed because of that already happened though. It's a long time ago.
I forgot about that.
I know. It's
More to be sad about.
But technically, like at the end of this scenario, like that would be a thing we could do to vote on a trait such as, you know, limp or lame or whatever, right, to Marco, and then he could get actual fate if it hindered him, right, sort of a thing. But so
anyways, keep
that's
going.
a possibility.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I think Xanatos basically just says like, Vivian, watch closely. Don't try to copy this though. And then he does the you know what? Actually, he probably wouldn't have bothered to not finish the gesture because he doesn't actually have access to the magic. So I don't know why he would have done that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So he does the gesture. He does a different gesture, and Josephine, you recognize that one, and it's like, yeah, basically like magic, break magic, like counterspell, right? Is like the word for that.
Expelliarmus.
Yeah, exactly.
The best spell of them all.
Yeah. And he does it to you, Vivienne, and then he's like, remember that. And when the time is right, use it.
She just nods.
So this guy currently can't use magic?
He can't use this magic. He hasn't said anything about whether or not he has other magic.
He said he's a connoisseur of magic.
Exactly.
So you are a connoisseur of magic, you say?
Indeed. I have been cataloging the various magics of this world. Fascinating, really.
Healing magic?
Yeah, he chuckles and he says, yes, Marco, healing magic. And you know what? I think he might help you out.
Finally, getting rid of this -1 is just. I was like, maybe he could get rid of this.
Yeah, let me double check what he has. I just actually made a character sheet for him yesterday, and he has plenty of stuff at his disposal.
Not having a constant -1 to all my rolls would be really nice.
Let me just double check how in the rules of Burning Wheel he could accomplish this.
Automatically, without a roll.
Nope.
You're so funny, Seth.
I try.
Where's art magic? There it is. Mm-hmm. I think the best he can do is he could give you a permanent, like, advantage die that cancels out stuff.
Fine with that.
Right? So he could just be like, I'll give you some, like, permanent magical energy that'll just kind of, like, stick around. That'll help counteract your wound. So let me figure out what he needs to do here. So base ob 2 to give you a +1 die. On a single target, so ob 3. And for the campaign is the duration. So now it's an ob 7. Okay.
Does my gorgeousness help him?
No.
Think of anything that actually could,
Yeah.
so I figured I'd throw it out there.
Nope. So he starts singing. And it is the most beautiful voice you have ever heard in your life. Like,
Ooh, can I help harmonize?
sure, yeah. So he starts singing, and it is this really interesting, like, it's definitely like a different mode of music than you're used to, right? Like the classical, like, European modes that are used in music are what you guys are familiar with, but he's using like like a Middle Eastern mode. So it's like strange harmonies and strange scale that is sort of eerie and kind of mystical.
I was hoping for throat singing.
No, he's not doing throat singing exactly, but it's definitely whatever. I don't even remember the name of it, but whatever the, like, Arabic mode was it the Byzantine scale? Yeah.
This song
Can I
just
make a
popped.
test to see how well I can sing with him?
You can basically just give him a advantage die.
Ah, yes, I will give him an advantage die with
Yeah.
my beautiful voice.
Mhm.
I had a song just pop in my head. I'm gonna send, like, the song that I imagine he is singing. Wait, this is Indian though. This isn't. Oh.
I'm imagining him singing Trololo.
I'm imagining this song. Wait, oh, it's the right one.
All right, I'm finding all the forks that he has for this.
This is one of my favorite meme songs. It's not really a meme song. It's just a song that is a meme. And it's so catchy. And this song is magical.
All right. He has 18 dice. Here we go.
Woo!
So he does some magic singing, and suddenly, yeah, you feel more powerful, more strengthened. So basically, just from now on, just literally add a one modifier always on any roll.
Where's a good place to put that?
Notes or bio or whatever, yeah, something like that.
Could I just okay?
I don't think there's a way to put it in there that, like, it actually automatically do it. So yeah,
That's
so he does that, and then he says, he looks at you, Marguerite, and he says, "It's too bad that your soul is connected to this place. I think you would make a very good life singer." Yeah, you have a beautiful voice, Marguerite.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about how to find Desiree Gilson. And then, basically, as soon as he says that, a servant, like, comes to the door frame. You know, the door's open because he's just kind of been, like, leaning against the door frame and looking at you guys. And he says, Someone is here. He's very insistent. He is wearing all black. He has a sword. He says he's looking for someone named Xanatos. And Xanatos just kind of, his eyes go wide, and he says, no, it couldn't. And then behind the servant comes a guy who has like a short cropped kind of like goatee, is wearing like all black, like leather clothes, leather armor, has a sword to one side, like a kind of like a side sword, and has a black cloak as well. And he...
Is it like the cloak?
What?
Is it like the cloak that you described earlier?
Yes, it is similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Dayless?
Yes, it is. So yeah,
Is he attractive?
Sure. I mean, normals aren't a way.
In a normal sort of way?
It's a normal amount of
He's
attractiveness.
average.
He's not drop dead
He's
gorgeous.
a little bit above average. Like he's handsome, but he's a normal handsome, not a extraordinary handsome.
And Marguerite already put this together who this is? Or would that be a
Sure.
role?
Yeah. It seems obvious.
Okay. Then she kind of like saunters up to him.
Okay.
Does he have a ring on his finger? Doesn't matter.
He has a couple of rings on his fingers.
Ooh.
Oh,
So it's like
okay.
unclear whether or not one of them might be a wedding ring, you know.
He got money. So she just like saunters up a little bit and goes,
He looks kind of like peeved at something, and he like is stomping up to the door, and then he sees you and kind of like gets like
and he kind of just go, you must be Dayless. I've heard all about you.
and he just like looks at Xanatos, and then Xanatos just sighs and then says, "What is it? I didn't even know you were on what do you call it? On
Our
Mondever."
plane of existence.
Yeah, he says, "I didn't even know you were on Mondever." And you guys know that's the name for, that's like Earth in your language. And Dela says, "I came to get you. There's something happening on Saragon again. Again? When will those people learn? You can't bargain with demons. You just can't." And then he looks back at you guys and he says, "I apologize. I am going to have to leave you to this on your own. Something else much more important is calling me."
Are we
I'm sure
NPCs in his D&D campaign?
Pretty much. Yeah, he basically just says like, "I'm sure you'll have it all under control." And Marguerite, and he grabs your hand and like bows and kisses it. He's like, "It has truly been a pleasure. I will convey your respects to," and he says a name, and I don't know what the name of, but it's basically like you assume it's his wife. The name of his wife. He's like, "I'll convey your respects to my wife." I think he just says that. "I will convey your respects to my wife." And
Fair enough.
yeah, he does the like swish of a cloak as he leaves, and claps kind of Dallas on the back, and he's like, "So, is it the Crow Inquisitors again?" And then they walk away.
Wow. Connection.
Uh-huh. I just created a bunch of connections that I have to tie together at some point. Who knows? Yeah, they leave.
Well, if I actually watched the Crow Inquisitors, my mind might have just been blown.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Cool. So, now what? It's kind of like
Marco kind of stands up, stretches his legs, like, "I think that went well."
Vivienne just like looks at her hands.
Yeah. They're suddenly this totally
I just like
different.
tell the other two to like leave. I'm like, get out.
Like, what? You could talk to her while being silent anyway. Why does it matter if we're here?
I want to talk to Vivienne. Get out of here.
oh wait, before I go, can you just tell her she made a good choice with the person that she wanted to be with?
Sure.
And I just kind of like obnoxiously be the person who doesn't understand how, signing necessarily would
right.
translating. And I just kind of like tap her and I go like,
I think after Marco said like well, you can't just say she just leave it anyway. He's just like just the sign and walks away. He's like whatever.
Well, I'm like I tell Marco, I'm like Marco, wait for me in the parlor, and then we'll head out to go. We'll head out.
Do we need to now?
Yes, I need the book still.
Okay.
what are you guys even talking
And you need a
about?
place to stay. So.
That is also true.
Excuse me, I'm pretty sure I'm involved in this too.
I'm an important person.
Out.
Marco just leaves. He's like, I don't care. I'm feeling better.
I walk out and I'm just kind of like, Isabel, it's time for us to leave. If your frog friends have had fun here, they can stay in here.
Okay, yeah, I think they like the bathroom.
That's a great place for them to live.
I went ahead and just put some of the water that there is a couple of buckets in there. And I just put the water in the bathtub and then put the frogs in there. They like it.
You will make a wonderful mother one day, Isabeau.
And then I think she seems very conflicted by that. She's like, I don't know if I want to be a mom.
I'm like, good. Don't be a mom.
Same, Isabeau. Same.
I will make you one of my witch apprentices.
I mean, hey, I don't know if I want to be a mom either. You know, it's fine. Marguerite's still deciding. It's a daily choice.
Cool.
I mean, literally all I want to do is I want to essentially fess up to Vivienne about like what's been going on, like what I've been doing, and just like apologize to her and be like, I'm sorry, like I tried to keep you out of it. I wanted to protect you. And like, but here's what's going on. Like I've been doing research. That's why Lady Jocelyn has been here, is because we've been doing all this research. And now we're going to go away for a day or two to go try to get the other books from Pascal.
She just nods and looks at her hands again. It's like, okay, I understand. I think.
And now I want to try to persuade her not to like get too involved in this, like to like stay out of it, like as much as she can.
So is this like a persuade her not to do what Xanatos asked her to do?
No, it's on it because she needs to release the magic. Like I'm like,
or is it just persuading her to do the very minimum?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Basically, like, please, like, don't like go like.
I mean, honestly, I don't think you need to persuade her.
No, so just
like, because her perspective now, and she would probably just say this, is that, like, now she's very hesitant about even using regular sign language, just, like, signs that she's familiar with, because she's like, what if something has changed and I accidentally do something, like a certain sign that does something horrible and I don't know? And so she's like, trust me, I won't be dabbling in this like any more than I possibly need to.
What if I say sandwich and turn someone into a sandwich?
Yeah.
So like I want to like try to like essentially what I want to tell her is like after this is over, like I will try to find a way to like, if you want, like, well, I wouldn't only I'd say if you want, I'd say I will find a way to like get the magic out of you. I don't want you to be afraid.
Yeah, she just nods.
And she just kind of says like, I want you to live your life peacefully and, well, even though I might not agree with some of your choices, I have to say I think you picked a good man today. And then I just say, I'll see you in a couple days. I'll be back.
She just says thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and take another break there real quick, and then we'll come back, and Marco and Joe will go get some books, I guess.
How long will that take?
Not that much.
Okay. Yeah. Sometime.
Yeah, I know. I'm not planning on doing like a whole big thing, but we'll take a break here and then come back and wrap it up. All right, that's Lavender Shadows. We'll be right back.